For a long time now, the way we've talked about artificial intelligence has felt a bit like hiring a ridiculously expensive, incredibly smart consultant.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. You go to them with a problem, you type your question into a little chat box, and they hand you back this brilliant 20-page strategy document.
Yeah, and then they just sit there.
Exactly. They just sit there staring at you, waiting for you to actually do all the work they just suggested.
It is the classic um, all brain, no hands dilemma. I mean, they
Yeah.
give you the strategy, but you're still the one stuck at your desk copying and pasting data.
Ah.
You're logging into 5 different software platforms.
Mhm.
You're actually drafting the emails to make that strategy happen. The heavy lifting is, well, it's still entirely on your shoulders.
But today, that dynamic is completely changing. And welcome to today's deep dive, by the way. We are looking at a massive stack of sources today.
Huge stack.
Yeah, we've got the Artificial Analysis State of AI 2025 Year-End Edition, detailed tool guides from Zapier and Foundit, prompt mastery frameworks from WSI Digital Advisors, plus some expert insights from Coursera and YouTube.
There's a lot to cover.
There really is. And the message across the board is crystal clear. The era of the passive AI consultant is, well, it's ending. We are officially entering the era of the AI intern.
The intern that actually does the work.
Right. A tireless, brilliant intern who actually logs into your systems, clicks the buttons, and executes the tasks for you. So our mission today is to explore this massive shift from simple chatbots to autonomous agents.
It's a huge shift.
It is. And whether you're running a small business and you're just drowning in administrative tasks, or you're leading a massive enterprise department struggling with software overload, we are going to show you how these new agentic workflows help you reclaim your time.
Yeah, and I'd say this shift from, passive brainstorming to active participation is probably the most significant leap we've seen since the introduction of large language models.
Without a doubt.
But to actually harness this, we have to kind of rethink everything we thought we knew about what makes an AI smart in the first place.
I'm really glad you brought that up because I was looking through some of the industry data on how we actually measure AI intelligence right now, and it's wild.
It's very counterintuitive.
Right, because for the last couple of years, the benchmark for a smart AI was, its ability to write a 5,000-word essay or generate a beautiful sonnet or whatever.
Just churning out text.
Exactly. But the data from the artificial analysis report points out something totally different. In this new era of autonomous agents, producing more output tokens, which essentially just means generating more words, is actually a liability.
Oh, 100%. When you're trying to automate a business process, verbosity is the last thing you want.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. If you ask an intern to move a file from folder A to folder B, you don't want them writing a 3-page philosophical essay about the nature of file storage.
No, please don't. Just move the file.
Right. You just want the file moved. Generating text requires compute power, it takes time, and it introduces room for error. So true intelligence in an agentic workflow is now driven by how effectively and quietly the AI can use external tools to get a job done.
And I saw a term used to describe the leading models from Google and Anthropic hitting this specific sweet spot. The report called it the Pareto frontier for token efficiency.
The Pareto frontier.
Okay, let's unpack this because Pareto Frontier sounds like the title of a sci-fi movie. What does that actually look like for someone listening who's just trying to run their business?
What's fascinating here is that it's all about balancing trade-offs. Let's strip away the economics jargon for a second.
Please do.
Imagine you're engineering a car. You want it to be incredibly fast, but you also want it to be highly fuel efficient.
Okay, making sense.
Usually, if you increase the speed, you sacrifice the fuel economy, right? The Pareto frontier is that absolute maximum sweet spot where you've achieved the highest possible speed without ruining the fuel efficiency.
Oh,
So in the AI world, it means these models have reached the perfect balance. They use just enough computing power and generate just enough words to successfully complete a complex, multi-step task.
without wasting resources.
Exactly, without wasting resources or, going off on a tangent and hallucinating unnecessary steps.
And there is a massive global sprint to build these highly efficient models. The data also highlights that while established big tech companies are geographically scattered all over the place, Beijing is rapidly emerging as this incredibly dense hub of frontier AI startup activity.
Yeah, the concentration of talent there right now is staggering.
It's a worldwide race to build the most capable agents. But I have to play the skeptic for a minute here. Is this just tech industry hype?
It's a fair question.
I mean, are these models actually capable of reasoning their way through a complex, multi-step business task without a human having to hold their hand every single step of the way?
They absolutely possess the reasoning capability. The models can figure out the logic of a task perfectly fine. But uh, there's a massive caveat, and it is where a lot of companies hit a brick wall.
Which is?
An intelligent agent is completely useless if it can't talk to your company's actual database.
Oh, right. That makes total sense. I mean, I can have the smartest intern in the world, but if I don't give them the login to my email or my CRM, they literally can't do anything.
Exactly. They're just sitting there twiddling their thumbs.
And the enterprise data backs that up. I think it was a staggering 78% of enterprises struggle to integrate AI with their current tech stacks.
Consider the 8%.
Yeah, you buy this brilliant AI and it just sits in a silo. So how do we fix that? Because I look at an average company and they've got a customer database over here, an email client over there, a project management tool somewhere else.
And none of them naturally talk to each other.
Exactly.
Well, this is where we introduce the concept of the orchestration layer.
The orchestration layer.
Right. Orchestration is basically the nervous system that connects the AI brain to the software limbs of your company. It's what turns an isolated, shiny AI pilot project into a scalable system that actually does work.
Huh?
We see platforms like Zapier stepping in to act as this exact orchestration layer, and they're connecting to over 8,000 different apps.
8,000 apps. That covers basically every piece of software a company could possibly
It
use.
covers almost everything. And through that nervous system, you have tools like Zapier agents. These act as your intelligent, self-directed teammates.
So how does that work in practice?
Well, you give them access to your company's central source of truth. Maybe you use HubSpot for sales, or Notion for documents, or Airtable for project tracking.
Right.
The agent sits in the middle and takes multi-step actions autonomously across all of them. And the best part is that nobody has to write a single line of traditional code to build this.
That's huge.
It is. You also have platforms like BotPress for building highly customized bots with visual builders, and even Zapier's Copilot, which lets you build an automation just by typing out what you want it to do in plain English.
I get how a massive enterprise with like a dedicated IT budget might use this to string their legacy systems together, but what about a local accounting firm of 5 people?
Yeah.
They don't have engineers. How are they supposed to utilize an orchestrated agent without drowning in technical debt?
Well, the dynamic is entirely different depending on the size of the company, but the value is universal. For that 5-person accounting firm, the agent functions as the operations manager they simply couldn't afford to hire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it handles client intake, it sorts incoming tax documents into the right Google Drive folders, and drafts the basic follow-up communications. It allows a tiny team to punch significantly above their weight.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then, for the massive enterprise, the agent acts more like a universal translator and courier. It might take data from a 30-year-old legacy inventory system used by the warehouse, translate it into a modern format, and update the shiny new CRM used by the sales team.
Bypassing the need for a massive IT overhaul.
Exactly.
But I have a fundamental question about how this actually works over time.
Okay.
If this agent is constantly jumping between 8,000 different apps and managing different clients, how does it keep track of what it's doing? Because in my experience, a standard chatbot essentially forgets who you are and what you're talking about the second you close the browser window. It has amnesia.
Yeah, that is the concept of a stateless AI. It has no continuous memory. Every time you open it, it is born yesterday.
Right, exactly.
So to turn a stateless AI into a functional agent, you have to give it a long-term memory drive, and that is where structured data comes in.
Structured.
Orchestration platforms provide this. For instance, Zapier Tables acts as a flexible, spreadsheet-style database that stores, organizes, and updates the data your automations rely on.
Wait, so the AI isn't actually holding all of my business data inside its own neural network. It's just reading a spreadsheet.
Pretty much. Think of it like the movie 50 First Dates.
Oh, I love that movie.
Right. The AI wakes up with no memory, but the very first thing it does is read a highly detailed journal, the data table, that tells it exactly what happened yesterday, where every project stands, and what needs to be done next. It gives a stateless AI actual state and continuity.
Okay, let's move this from abstract theory to reality. I want to look at exactly how these interconnected apps and agents solve a real-world, highly repetitive problem.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about automating lead follow-up. If you are a B2B service, or really any sales department, following up on leads is the absolute lifeblood of your revenue. But doing it well and doing it quickly is incredibly tedious.
It is the perfect candidate for an agentic workflow. The mechanics of this basically break down into 4 distinct stages: data collection, model development, deployment, and monitoring.
Oh,
Let's walk through a concrete scenario. Imagine you run a company that sells virtual assistant software to other businesses.
great. So, step one, it's a Tuesday night. A potential customer is browsing my website, and they fill out a contact form requesting more information.
Yeah.
In the old days, that would send an email to my inbox, I'd read it on Wednesday morning and eventually get back to them. But using an orchestration tool, that form submission is automatically caught the second they hit submit.
Right. And the data is saved into our structured database, like that Zapier table we just mentioned.
Got it.
That is your data collection phase. And the moment that new row of data hits the spreadsheet, it acts as a digital tripwire. It wakes up your AI agent.
Okay.
But here is where the strategy becomes vital. The agent doesn't just blast out a generic "thanks for reaching out, someone will call you soon" email. You program the agent using specific prompt mastery frameworks.
Right. I was looking at the frameworks from WSI Digital Advisors on this. They talk about using the TASK framework, which stands for Task, Audience, Specifications, and Knowledge, or the AIDA framework, Attention, Interest, Desire, Action.
Yes, AIDA's a classic.
How does that actually change the way the AI behaves, though?
It changes everything because it forces the AI to think like a seasoned marketer rather than a robot.
Interesting.
You don't just tell the AI, reply to this lead, you embed the AIDA framework into its core instructions. You tell it, grab the user's attention by referencing their specific industry, build interest by highlighting the pain points of their job title,
Wow.
create desire by elaborating on the cost-saving and time-saving benefits of our virtual assistant product, and finally, drive action by asking for a 15-minute call on Thursday.
So the agent wakes up, reads the lead's data from the spreadsheet, say it sees the person's name is Sarah, and her title is Director of Operations at a logistics firm. And it drafts a highly tailored, personalized email, hitting all those AIDA points perfectly. Hi, Sarah. As a Director of Operations, we know logistics can be overwhelming, and so forth.
Exactly.
It drafts it, and then it automatically sends that email through my company Gmail or Outlook account. But the workflow doesn't stop there, does it?
Not at all. Once the email is sent, the agent pings your internal sales team in Slack to let them know a director of operations just got the pitch, and it logs the entire interaction along with the email transcript into your primary CRM like Salesforce.
That is incredible.
It completes the entire life cycle of a task in seconds. And we are seeing AI email tools like Shortwave, Microsoft Copilot Pro, and Gemini for Gmail starting to do this kind of heavy lifting right inside the inbox, summarizing massive threads and drafting complex replies based on your historical data.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. I love the efficiency of this, but I have to stop and ask about the risk factor here.
The risk factor.
If I give an AI the keys to my company email, how do I ensure it doesn't send something robotic, tone-deaf, or completely hallucinated to a massive prospective client?
Yeah, that's a big one.
We've all seen AI go a little off the rails when it gets confused. If it's sending emails on my behalf, my brand's reputation is entirely on the line.
It is the most common fear business owners have, and the solution lies entirely in how you set up the boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah, the secret sauce of these agentic workflows isn't just the AI model itself, it's the guardrails established by the human orchestrator.
Mm.
When you use those strict frameworks from the WSI guide, you are actively fencing the AI in.
Okay, so you're limiting what it can do.
Exactly. You give it a rigid style guide. You explicitly define the tone as professional but empathetic. You give it the exact context, and you limit its ability to improvise.
It's like giving that brand new intern the company handbook and a very strict email template. You don't just say, email the client. You say, use this template, mention these specific features, and do not deviate. But even then, I might not trust the intern on their first day, you know?
And you shouldn't, which is why, especially in an enterprise setting, you build human-in-the-loop approvals directly into the orchestration.
Oh, human in the loop. How does that work?
So the AI wakes up, reads the database, uses the AIDA framework, and drafts the perfect email. But instead of sending it to the client, it sends the draft to a specific Slack channel.
Oh, I see.
A human sales rep reads it, makes sure it sounds perfect, and clicks a green approve button. Only then does the orchestration layer actually fire the email off. You are still saving 95% of the time, but you guarantee 100% brand safety.
That is brilliant. The AI does all the legwork, but the human retains the final veto power.
Exactly.
And once you master that level of control over text and data, you start to realize these agents are capable of so much more. The capabilities are expanding rapidly into areas that used to require deep, specialized software expertise.
We are moving far beyond just reading spreadsheets and writing emails. Agents are now executing complex, creative, multimodal tasks.
Yes. And this brings us to what might be the most mind-bending part of the research we pulled for today.
The video stuff.
The video stuff. Let's talk about video editing. For anyone who has ever opened a professional video editing software like Premiere Pro or Final Cut, you know it looks like the control panel of a commercial airliner.
It really does.
There are timelines, keyframes, audio channels, render settings. The learning curve is brutal.
It is highly technical and incredibly intimidating. But there's a platform highlighted in the materials called Hyperframes, which is built specifically to work with AI agents like Claude Code.
Okay.
Hyperframes exposes a set of API endpoints that let the AI programmatically edit video files.
Wait, hold on. You just said API endpoints and programmatically edit. For those of us who aren't software developers, what does that actually look like in practice? Is Claude literally writing computer code in the background to cut a video?
Kind of, but think of an API endpoint like a menu at a restaurant.
Okay, menu.
The restaurant is the video editing software, and the menu lists all the things it can do. Cut a clip, add a title, fade the audio. Normally, you are the one sitting in the kitchen, frantically trying to cook the meal yourself, using all those complex buttons.
Right.
But with an API, the AI simply reads the menu and places an order. You tell the AI what you want in plain English, and the AI translates your request into a series of automated orders API calls that tell the software exactly what to do.
That completely changes the paradigm.
It does.
There is no traditional video editing timeline for me to mess with. I don't drag and drop clips. I just type a prompt to Claude saying, take this raw footage, apply a cinematic color grade, burn in some bold yellow subtitles, and trim out all of the dead air.
Yep.
And Claude translates my plain English into those API calls and handles a full post-production pipeline in a single prompt.
Yes. It completely abstracts the technical interface away from the user.
Yeah.
And we are seeing this multimodal capability explode across the board. We looked at a breakdown of Google's Gemini model, for instance, and it is uniquely positioned right now to synthesize text, video, and massive audio files all in one go.
Wow.
If you need an agent to watch an hour-long video presentation, cross-reference it with a massive audio recording of a meeting, and synthesize a written report, Gemini's ability to handle all those different modes of information simultaneously is unparalleled.
And this intelligence is bleeding into every single category of software. AI search engines like Perplexity and Brave are trying to eliminate the hallucination problem by providing cited, source-backed research.
Right, showing their work.
Exactly. So instead of scrolling through 10 blue links and trying to piece things together yourself, you get a heavily researched executive summary with footnotes.
You also have tools like Granola, which acts as an AI meeting assistant. What makes it unique is that it doesn't send an invasive, annoying bot to awkwardly join your Zoom call.
Oh, I hate those bots.
Everyone does. Granola captures the audio locally on your machine and acts as a smart notepad that fills in the blanks with context from the transcript.
That's so much better.
And then there are tools like Lovable and Bolt, which are pushing into what's being called vibe coding.
Vibe coding. I absolutely love that term.
It's a great term.
As I understand it, you basically just describe the vibe or the core function of the app you want to build, and the AI handles the architecture, writes the code, and generates the user interface.
Literally just coding by vibes.
But looking at all of this, from video editing via text prompt to vibe coding an app without knowing how to program, I have to ask the big question here.
And lay it on me.
If someone can edit a complex motion graphics video just by typing a sentence, or build a functional app by explaining the vibe they want, what happens to the value of technical software skills? Are we entering an era where your ability to communicate clearly is actually more valuable than knowing how to use the software?
This raises an important question, and I think what we are witnessing is the rapid commoditization of technical execution.
Commoditization of execution.
Yes, the actual clicking of buttons, the navigation of complex drop-down menus, the writing of boilerplate code that is all being handed over to the agents. When execution becomes nearly free and instantaneous, the value shifts entirely to strategic thinking, creative direction, and clear communication.
Interesting.
The person who can best articulate the problem and orchestrate the agents to solve it is the one who wins.
It's like we're all being promoted from the line workers actually building the product to the directors overseeing the production.
That's a great way to look at it.
You no longer hold the camera, you just tell the camera operator exactly what you want the shot to look like.
And the people who will thrive in this new environment are the ones who learn how to manage these digital interns effectively. That means understanding how to use orchestration tools to connect your apps, using structured data to give your AI a memory, and utilizing prompt frameworks to set strict, safe boundaries.
So, to bring this all home for you listening, whether you are a small business owner trying to automate your lead generation so you can finally take a weekend off, or you're an enterprise leader trying to orchestrate a massive tech stack without ripping out your legacy systems, AI is no longer just a brainstorming buddy.
It's doing the work.
It is an active, capable participant in your workflow. By setting up the right nervous system for your tools, you can build systems that work entirely autonomously in the background.
The tools are already here, and the reasoning intelligence is incredibly sharp. The only thing required now is the human vision to connect them. And that leaves us with one final, intriguing idea to mull over.
Oh, like a final thought.
As AI agents become this invisible layer that operates our tools for us, as they become the ones translating our natural language into API calls and database updates, will future generations of workers even need to know how to navigate traditional software interfaces?
Oh, wow.
Or will the user interface of the entire future simply be a conversation with your agent?
From struggling with a consultant's 20-page PDF to just having a quick chat with your tireless intern who handles the rest, it's a whole new world. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.